Good morning, everybody. This is David with Liberty Suppressors. I don't know if you can tell this or not. It's cold in the shop in the early morning. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot a quick video on how to take the Pinnacle II apart and get it out where you can clean it. This one's been shot some, but it's not real bad dirty. We've took it apart once, and like a genius, I had the camera set on autofocus, so it went blurry focus, blurry focus. Well, all that aside, I'm going to show it again with the focus set correctly this time on the camera. Alright, the first thing we're going to want to do is you're going to want to use a little spanner wrench and break the cap loose. And then just unscrew the cap. This is pretty standard for about all suppressors that are take apart cleanable designs. Alright, so lay the front cap aside. Now, there's going to be some cleaning instructions to go along with that in a minute. Next thing we're going to need is this extraction tool and these two wrenches. Our wrenches are just common, ordinary, everyday 7/8" wrenches. The inside of the core is threaded on the front portion. So you'll screw this jack screw down into it until it stops. Once it bottoms out, you've got full thread contact. There we go. You ain't got to tighten it, just run it down till it quits turning by itself freely. There's a little ledge that sits on the outside of the suppressor tube. It'll drop down on it. Once it does, then you just run this nut down right here until it takes up the slack. All you're going to do is hold this nut still and run the jack screw. And I'm just going to give you representation. Like I said, I've done extracted this core once, so it's going to come out pretty easily. And I may have even lubricated it with some Kroll oil. But you'll do this procedure here until, of course, the core is extracted. Once it gets about 75 or 80% out, it'll come on out pretty easily by itself. You can typically just grab the tube, pull, and slide on out. Just remember that once you pull it, the gun's going to go to the floor if you ain't holding on to it. So, get a hold of it, pull the core out. Now, this is a Gen 1 core, so the baffles look different from a Gen 2. Ours still shoots fine, so we haven't bothered to change it out yet. But then you'll just clean down inside here real good. Typically we use, I think, a 20 gauge shotgun brush to, just scrub it a little bit, and then wipe it out with a shotgun swab. And then once you clean that, we tell everybody to sandblast the core. It's the easiest way. You can scrape it, it'll work fine. But once you get done doing that, I'm just unscrewing the screw jack from the end of the core. It's threaded right there. Then clean them threads out good. Make sure that there's no trash in them. We oil it just a little bit to get it to go back together. Some kind of penetrating oil typically. And just make sure that the threaded section's in it. Push it back down in there all the way till it bottoms out. And then clean this face off good. You ain't got to worry about this so much, and make sure there ain't no trash in the threads on the cap. But make sure that end is clean, because that breech is inside there, and it also seals off the threaded insert area. Keep the trash out of those threads so that when you go to put it back together, it'll go together easily and it'll go all the way in, and you can get your jack screw in there real easy. And once you put it back in there, just tighten your cap down and you're finished. See, it's real easy. So there you go. There's a video on using the Pinnacle II extraction tools with a couple of ordinary everyday wrenches. And like I said, this 7/8". Nothing's real special about them. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you. Bye-bye.